MSI GE76 Raider, Core i9-11980H GE plus RTX 3080 16GB, laptop opinion. More powerful, more capable and feature-rich, the current crop of gaming laptops with the most recent CPU and GPU platforms can offer a major upgrade to the enthusiast laptop experience. That's especially true these days with discrete graphics cards being hard to come by and marked up by factors of 2 or 3 above their MSRP. Suddenly dropping $3,000 plus on a whole system upgrade via portable powerhouses like these starts to make more sense financially. New desktop builds are great, if you can find components and all, but then you also have to factor in a new display, keyboard, and just about everything else needed for gaming. The GE76 Raider from MSI falls into the camp of desktop replacement gaming notebooks. It's got the very best portable gaming components with NVIDIA Ampere graphics grunt and Intel Tiger Lake H processing power. This beefy machine also packs in a crazy fast high refresh rate display that should turn heads for fast twitch gamers especially. This system's panel clocks in at a super smooth 360 Hz. There's also a high quality SteelSeries keyboard, a full HD webcam and tons more packed into its chassis. Getting into the MSI GE76 Raider is straightforward, but it takes a bit of work. There are no fewer than 13 Phillips head screws to remove, and one of them is hidden under a sticker marked factory seal. If we ignore that for a moment, popping the bottom off just takes a little prying from the rear vents, and then it pops off in one piece and we can get to the system's innards easily. 4 of the screws are captive, but the 4 corners popped out of the lid when we removed them. They're all the same length, fortunately, so just don't lose them. The factory seal sticker seems to be rare on many of the company's laptops, including the Prestige 14 Evo, and we would really like to see this thing go away. One of the big attractions to a larger laptop like this is that they're typically easier to service, repair, and upgrade. This sticker does nothing good for buyers, and MSI's warranty page is kind of coy about whether this really voids a warranty. We'd rather remove all doubt and see that thing banished. The cooler in the GE76 Raider is a pretty big chunk of copper. Both the Intel Core i9-11980H GE processor and the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 GPU have their own plates and dedicated heat pipes. The 2 big heat makers do seem to share both fin arrays, and a pair of blowers push hot air out the back and sides. As we'll see in a little bit, they do a really solid job of keeping the system cool and running smoothly. MSI includes a pair of SODIMM slots for up to DDR4 3200 memory. All of the SKUs of this notebook available for purchase, including our review unit, come with a pair of 16GB sticks. We haven't spotted much in the way of 32GB SODIMMs just yet, but just being able to replace a stick that goes faulty down the road is a nice option to have. There's also a pair of M.2 slots that support PCI Express 4.0 drives. One of them is filled with a 1TB Samsung Key 4.0 SSD, but the other is ready and waiting for a standard-sized M.2 2280 drive. Even the killer Wi-Fi card is separate and can be upgraded later on. Below that we can see the 99.9 Wh battery and the 2 discrete woofers in our quad speaker audio array. They're not all that big, but they do push out plenty of volume, even if the bass is lacking. The battery is user replaceable by removing just a few screws, which is another nice touch. The uncovered chip above the battery is the Intel PCH, and it mates to a thermal pad that sticks to the inside of the bottom panel. Reassembling the system is a snap, as the bottom snaps back into place and the screws return to their seats. The MSI GE76 Raider is the fastest gaming notebook we've ever tested. Barring an outlier or two, the system put up the fastest performance we've ever measured from the laptop time and again. That's all due to a combination of Intel's newest and best Tiger Lake H processor, NVIDIA's fastest mobile GPU, and effectively dealing with their power and thermal requirements. Just about anybody can do the first 2, but dealing with power and heat is important for long gaming sessions to prevent performance throttling. We were more than pleased with MSI's results. On top of all that excellent performance, battery life was pretty solid, considering the powerful hardware that's involved. In our video playback test, we got over 5 hours, which is right on par with some of the longest lasting gaming notebooks. In battery-bound gaming, we found MSI's approach to limiting performance got the most out of the battery. While just over an hour and a half isn't ideal, that's more than twice as long as some of the other gaming notebooks we've tested. A whopping 30 FPS when gaming on a battery isn't going to blow anybody's mind, but it provided a solid and consistent experience. The MSI GE76 Raider also looks great in our opinion. Its aluminum and polycarbonate materials work well together, and the system is mostly devoid of weird angular shapes or an overtly gamer-focused aesthetic. The decidedly gaming-friendly 360Hz display is incredibly fluid in motion too. Brightness wasn't the best, but it's likely good enough for most people. But when it comes to actually gaming, the GE76 Raider shines. The combination of a GeForce RTX 3080 and a 360Hz display produces some pretty incredible visuals, even though the resolution is limited to 1080p. There are plenty of RGB elements in the per-key backlit SteelSeries keyboard and the RGB LED strip in the front, but all of that can be managed in software. RGB effects aside, the gaming-focused keyboard was excellent for typing this review, and acquits itself nicely in games as well. Very few people are going to play games with a trackpad, instead opting for a regular mouse, and the large array of ports makes that simple without the need for any dongles. The design language even accounted for excellent thermal and acoustic performance, so gamers won't go deaf or burn their fingers while playing games for an extended period on this system. What's left to discuss is pricing. MSI currently sells 3 different configurations of the GE76 Raider on its US web storefront. The base model has a Core i7-11800H, 32GB of DDR4 3200 memory, a 1TB SSD, and a GeForce RTX 3070 with 8GB of GDDR6, which retails for $2,599. Step up a bit to substitute a GeForce RTX 3080 into the system for $3,099. And finally, our review model has a Core i9-11980HK with the otherwise identical specs for $3,399. If we were trying to get the most bang for the buck, we'd probably be shopping for the middle option, as even the Core i7-11800H is ridiculously quick, and the GeForce RTX 3080 mobile GPU is pretty phenomenal. None of those options are exactly chump change, but it's a solid value when we consider all the other hardware that's included. Incredibly, all 3 models have the excellent 360Hz display, 1080p webcam, killer AX1675 Wi-Fi card, and per-key RGB backlighting. The Alienware M17R4 is still saddled with 10th Gen Comet Lake CPUs, so we've got to look at the new X17 as a comparison. The closest we can get with Dell's configurator has a 4K 120Hz display, but otherwise similar hardware, for $3,829. Asus sells the ROG Strix Scar with a 17-inch 360Hz display, but an AMD Ryzen 9 5900HX for $2,999. That might be the closest comparison we get, but it gives up Thunderbolt 4 and has a lower 115W TGP on the GeForce. The MSI GE76 Raider looks pretty solid in that light, especially the more attainable middle child with the Core i7 and the RTX 3080. Overall, the MSI GE76 Raider is an incredible gaming notebook. It's hard to call a $3,000 plus gaming machine a bargain or even a great value, but in this case, it's the fastest gaming notebook we've tested, bar none. It's tops in productivity, gaming, and even battery life performance. The aesthetic is attractive and understated, at least once you turn off the RGB, and the keyboard and display are wonderful. gamers who have come up empty looking for graphics cards could spend close to $3,000 on a desktop GeForce RTX 3080, or spend about that much on a notebook and get a whole system upgrade in the process. That's true of most gaming notebooks, but the MSI GE76 Raiders mix of performance, price and features puts it in an elite class.